happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out. So we got that corrupt New York Attorney General Letitia James practically begging for new charges in this one. She's now coming out in an announcement and vowing to fight President Donald Trump every step of the way and to defy the Supreme Court's latest ruling in this one, guys. And I'm excited to get into it, so we're gonna hop straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Leftists are losing what's left of their minds over the Supreme Court rulings, of course, especially the Attorney General in the state of New York, Letitia James, a rabid opponent of President Trump, who thinks that she's above the law, naturally. Listen, James reacting to the news of the writing is what we're all waiting for. I think this is not over. The issue of birthright citizenship was not decided today. SCOTUS remanded to the lower court the authority of federal judges to issue nationwide injunctions. A state attorney general who respects the Constitution is now more important than ever. No, Tish, it is over. The Supreme Court ruled. The highest court ruled today but in President Trump's favor, but pay no attention to that. And again, the rhetoric of the left, James, is pretty consistent and terrifyingly so. The guy, the Democrat that won, the communist Islamist that won the Democrat Party's primary for mayor in New York, the Democrats can't stop talking about, screw the Second Amendment, ipso facto, the Bill of Rights. We're going to come door to door with masks on like a third world hellhole and strip you of your firearms, and then you'll rue the day.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder that when we look at what the role of this district judge, of the district court judges, it's to bring, back to the localities. So when you have an issue in your neighborhood or in your community, it's that representative of the federal judiciary there on that bench to help you. So like in this case, going with the birthright citizenship case, the plaintiffs in that, it's being remanded back to them, to their localities. So the injunction might be in place for them. They may not be deported in this situation. However, to then have that one judge say, no, this is across the board, affecting other localities and other communities. That's the problem. It's like a mayor of one city dictating what every other city in this country gets to do. And so that's how you have to compare it. But the ultimate stopgap in this to ensure that the Constitution does not get trampled on is the Supreme Court. And I think we're so used to the Supreme Court taking these cases, and it takes years to get up to that level. But there are instances, and this court has shown it, that they will take emergency hearings if they need to be.
It is. It's a fast-moving train in America these days. President Trump receiving yet another win from the Supreme Court. Also today, the Supreme Court ruling to back parents. The mothers and fathers, men and women who have children, parents who seek to opt their kids out of the rabid LGBTQIAA plus books and education in elementary schools. Just the little kids. The Democrats need to groom them early. President Trump today highlighting the victory for parents.
I think the ruling was a great ruling, and I think it's a great ruling for parents. It's really a ruling for parents. They lost control of the schools. They lost control of their child. And this is a tremendous victory for parents. And I'm not surprised by it, but I am surprised that it went this far. It took us to bring life back to normal. So it's wonderful. It's parental. And I kept saying, we will give you back your parental rights. They were taken away, and this is a tremendous victory for parents.
Well, there's a lot of nodding going on at the table, but Jason, I didn't see you nodding, but you've got kids, and you're an educator, and this parents should be able to opt out.
Yeah, no, I really don't have a problem with parents opting out, as long as they're not trying to also change the curriculum so that they can tell my kid what they can and cannot read. But if they want to opt their child out and say we don't want them to participate in this assignment. I don't have an issue with that. And the other thing I just want to say is communist Islamist is not a thing. That's not a thing. If you look at nations that have Islam in them, like Qatar, the Qataris are not communist. The Saudis are not communist. The Emiratis are not communist. They are hyper capitalist.
We were just talking about the Democratic primary in New York.
Right. And the other thing that I would say is that if you are talking about, oh, you want us to go back and go be a third world country, we just watched the U.S. government drop 30,000-pound bombs on people. Your AR-15 is not going to stop the United States government. So
that's what Joe Biden said. You got to have F-16s to fight him. I think he threw that out there. And there is the famous Red-Green coalition. I would go back to Munich 1972 and the communist Red Brigades providing their support to the Islamists of Black September. So it's not unprecedented, but now it's in New York. And they do it under the flag of the Democrat Party.
All right, you guys. So as you can see, Letitia James, that corrupt New York Attorney General, still has not learned her lesson or learned how to lay low under wraps for a bit. I mean, with all the heat that she's got going on, her mortgage fraud, insurance fraud allegation, you would think that she would be a little bit more quiet, stay off the radar of President Donald Trump. But nope, she's doing everything she can in her power to divide President Donald Trump, and now even defying the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, saying that their ruling on birthright citizenship means nothing to her. And that really just makes no sense to me. And I really just want to put this into perspective, what they're trying to do, because it makes no sense to me. This is the same thing as saying, like, me and my wife go to France on a vacation. My wife is towards the end of her pregnancy, and then she delivers the baby in France. Does not make the baby gain citizenship to France. That's not how that works, and it should not work like that over here. These folks are coming across our border illegally, not even on a vacation. They're coming across illegally. And then they're having kids, and then they're saying through them having the baby on U.S. soil, they should get said birthright citizenship when no one was legal or a citizen of our country to begin with. That is not how this should work. But it does not surprise me that that corrupt New York Attorney General Letitia James picked this hill to die on. I mean, they always pick the wrong fight. Just stuff that doesn't make sense. This is like, going against the majority. I mean, 95% of Americans believe and understand this concept, but somehow Letitia James, if Donald Trump is a part of that 95%, she's got to go with the 5%. It's so sad to see. And then another example right here we're seeing with Zoran Mamdani of New York, that communist mayoral candidate of NYC. Now we've got Letitia James in support of him. She actually did a full victory, a congratulations speech to Mr. Mamdani. Check this out.
He kept focused on his message. He wasn't concerned about the money. It was all about the power of the message, the power of his word. And so I saw in my beloved Brooklyn and all throughout this city that this campaign was fueled. It was fueled by the power of people. People yearning for change in this city. People who heard his message. And we all came together. He kept focused on his.
Okay, and that right there is the message of said Attorney General Letitia James, congratulating Zoran Mamdani on winning that Democratic primary, one step closer to becoming the communist mayor of NYC. We got Sammy Antar also showing her parading around with a Zoran Mamdani all through the streets of NYC. Zoran Mamdani tweeting out saying, "A joy to march NYC Pride Parade with People's Champ Letitia James." That's a very bold statement. They're calling her the People's Champ. I mean, but she seems to be the People's Champ. She keeps getting reelected despite all the fraud, the corruption, the political witch hunts, the waste of taxpayer public resource. They don't care. They just keep voting her in. We got Sammy Antar here quoting that tweet, responding saying, "Two mortgage frauds and a Marxist walk into a parade." Like, really though? And then he goes on a full tirade of Letitia James saying Tish James falsely declared her Brooklyn property had 4 units. Of course, it had 5 units. She done that repeatedly for years. And then signed a sworn statement claiming that she lived in Virginia. That was going to be her principal residence. She did this all to obtain land for a cheaper mortgage. Then we're going to go in on Mamdani. He wants to replace the NYPD with tax-funded nonprofits that campaigned for him. So he says, hey, do away with the cops in New York City. Go ahead and start up with taxpayer-funded nonprofits that will all, praise and campaign me. And I wanted to wrap this one up with one more clip that kind of just drives that point home on who Zohran Mamdani truly is. Just check out what he had to say to this reporter.
And one of the things that we've said, beyond saying that we're going to make this a sanctuary city for LGBTQIA plus workers, beyond saying that we're going to establish an office of LGBTQIA plus affairs, is also that we're going to provide $65 million in funding for gender-affirming care, the same amount of funding that the federal government threatened to pull out from local providers for that kind of work. And in this moment especially, if we want to fight the Trump administration, we have to do so by fully funding our own services, taxing the wealthiest New Yorkers and corporations here. And one of the things.
Okay, so this is what Zohran Mamdani wants to do. He's vowing to fight the Trump administration, just like old Tish James every step of the way. He's saying he's going to provide $65 million in funding for said, transitioning surgeries and puberty blockers for fellow New Yorkers and TikTok, libs of TikTok. Capping this one off saying, good luck with that one, New York. Good luck with this guy. I mean, 2 pieces of work, 1 state, 1 city. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to handle all this. They've already got corrupt Tish James, running the show, pulling the strings. And now they're gearing up to get, I should say, Zohran Mamdani. This just spells a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. You would have thought Tish James wouldn't have made the foolish mistake of keeping herself inside the public eye. All this media attention, widespread attention, covers that she's been getting lately, especially with the mortgage fraud allegations. I would have tried to lay a little bit low, minimized or, fizzed to help my whole fight against Donald Trump. There is no reason for her to continue to do this except for that Trump derangement syndrome, that TDS. It runs through her blood. She doesn't know how to do anything else with her position in office. She doesn't serve the people. All she knows how to do is to come after President Donald Trump. I mean, just look at how many lawsuits she's thrown towards or hurled towards the Trump administration these last couple of months. I mean, every single step of the way, she's going to fight President Donald Trump. And now it looks like she has a partner in crime to work with, Zohran Mamdani in NYC. His radical far left policies that he's pushing out. Honestly, don't know how much longer Tish James will be able to retain her freedom if she continues down this road. I mean, this path is so inevitable. We heard various figures from the Trump administration let them know, spelling it out very clearly, what will happen if you try to defy or step in the way, impede the process of these deportation efforts. Anything to do with these criminal migrants, you're trying to shield them, you're going to go to jail. You're trying to stop the process of them getting sent back to their country. Guess what? You're going to go to jail. If you're trying to hide the fact that they're illegal in this country, guess what? You're going to go to jail. So there's only one road. I mean, one option for Tish James, or 2 options, I would say, either to leave this situation alone, or we know where she's going to land herself at. But guys, definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open. I'm very excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.